Do you remember me?
No, I don't know who you are. And maybe people,
How you are, I also don't know.
who you are.
Ooh. No,
And
that's,
maybe people think that you left from here and I'm alone, and so now I'm not recording because my dog does not read and talk, and so you're still here, no? Okay,
I'm still here. I'm still here. It's been a while. It's been over a year. Luckily, we don't have to recap what we did last time because people can just go back to the previous episode and that's it.
That's good.
Because I don't remember.
It would not work.
But so we decided we will start again.
Yes.
So we simply start reading, or there is something you would like to say? No? Okay, so we were in the middle of the chapter Alone. Previously, your master had passed away, a new master was there in the Derga in Turkey, and you moved back to this house and sold the water.
I cannot remember anything, but if you read, it's written
okay.
there. So
yes,
it's okay.
So okay. So, we had been told of a healer near Granada, but he was no longer in this world. Manolo was his name. So one afternoon we set out to visit the place where this man had lived. In the middle of the countryside, on a deserted road, there were the buildings where the healer and his followers had once lived. From what we were told, his followers still cared for many animals here. Cats, dogs, donkeys, goats, and pigeons. People came to visit every day to feed the animals and take a break from their daily lives in the incredibly peaceful atmosphere of this place. There were small buildings, a few toilets. There were some small buildings, a few toilets, a room with a fireplace, and the hut where the saint had lived. In my first book, Andalusia, Land of Shamans, I told in detail the story of this man under the name of Don Vicente. We set off with Nicholas, one of my acquaintances. We had bought a bag of dog food to leave there. There were a few people sitting in the fireplace room, and I knocked on the door to ask where we could put the dog food. An old woman asked us to come into the room. "We are in a hurry. Please just tell us where we can put the bag with the food." "You can leave the bag there in the yard. But please come in for a moment," was her answer. "Agreed," I said. "But we'll sign a contract. Not me, but you will speak and tell us something about the healer." The woman agreed, and we went into that room. I sat down on a sofa right next to the old woman, opposite Nicholas. The woman started talking about the healer, and after about 2 minutes she turned to me and said, "Oh, you're bringing the grace of God."
You know why she said that? Because grace, Spanish gracioso, quería decir I'm very funny.
Muy gracioso.
Muy gracioso. Sí.
Yes, that's it. But we made an agreement. It's not me, it's you who talks. Here some people had learned through the master to listen to the inner knowing, to have a hunch. Something that you rarely find in our Western world anymore. That same night I had a dream. I sat there with Santo Manolo, as they call him here, on a sofa. Another man sat between us. I asked the healer, "If it is God who makes a person sick, and God can heal that person again, what is your function? Why are you standing in the middle?" Manolo instructed the other man to put his hand on my shoulder, smiled, and said to me, "If it weren't for people like us, there would be no love in this world."
Because the concept of God is very much man-made and misunderstood.
And very far out.
No, far out, invisible, not touchable. And we always believe it's all merciful, all powerful. But so how can it be? I mean, why you send me the illness and then you need the other person to take the illness away from me? But this person takes the illness away from me with your grace, not the person.
Not the person.
So what is that game? No? Yeah, and we don't know. We don't know what that game is. It's simply like that.
Could it also be to help us believe?
Maybe.
Like the reason that we take people to Isidro, the healer here, no? To experience something that is simply not in our normal world. It's not logical, it's not reasonable, not understandable. And that can maybe change something in a person's mind or heart, really.
Yes.
So you wrote the book in 2017 or something like that. And
when I was 20.
Yeah, exactly. And it's still the same. People still go to Manolo.
I mean,
so
you know the place of Manolo?
I know the place.
And then what?
Well, it's absolutely wonderful. People still go there. We always meet lovely people. Some people tell and share their stories about what they experienced with Manolo. We sit there for a while, enjoy the atmosphere. See, it's like a place where you can observe faith. Like, people still bring the white flowers that he liked and go there to ask for his blessings. And like the couple that we met the last time that we went a few weeks ago, who said, yeah, it doesn't matter if he's alive or not alive. We talk to him anyway and he's there. And when we are asking him for something at home and we stand in front of the image of him and we ask him...
It does not matter if he is dead or not, because he's not dead.
Because he's not dead. If he has a physical body or not. They stand in front of his image and ask him for something, and then the man said, and then you hear a strange noise all of a sudden in the house. Like a noise that is not usually there. And then I know that he's there and he's listening. And he's helping me solve my problems.
Do you remember the story he told? That he had a big problem.
He had a big
and there
problem,
was a
or
woman
many
in
problems
his village,
in life.
and he always tried to avoid her because he didn't like her. Or
she had very similar problems.
With her.
She had very similar problems, and he didn't want to hear her complaining because he was already feeling so bad for himself.
And one day he went to the supermarket. He went to Manolo. Yes, Manolo, look, I cannot do it alone. I cannot come out of that. I don't know how to do that.
Help me,
and he
please.
went to the supermarket, and boom, the woman was standing just in front of him.
Like running into each other.
And they started to talk, and then he relaxed completely.
She shared how she had solved her problems, how it was for her, and that from there he got the idea of how to solve his problems. What the problem was, we don't know. But that was the solution. So in reality, the woman that he was avoiding all the time would have had the solution for him. And he simply wasn't ready. Well, be gone.
Let's see what will happen now. Go on.
Our dentist lady, ¿cómo se llama? Susana. She also was healed by Manolo, no? The one who wrote the book. The lady who works with the dentist.
No. Yeah, she went when she was a little girl.
When she was a little girl.
They brought her father brought her.
Yeah. Nicolas was the owner of a tea house in downtown Granada. We often went there in the evenings. Today we came with a group of people and sat at a table right by the window. The place was quite full. Not everyone could find a place to sit. I watched a young couple approach us. The man was physically disabled. He was incredibly handsome, had a proud demeanor, and was well dressed. At his side was a pretty young woman. I wondered how it was possible that a person with this disability could produce such a fantastic image. As often happens, it occurred to me to invite these people to our table, but immediately my mind began to struggle. I thought, same thing again, tell your stories again, stories that everyone sitting here has heard countless times. And so I said nothing. The couple was about to leave the tea house when suddenly a downpour fell from the sky. Nobody could leave the building. Now I was encouraged to invite them. The couple gratefully accepted. The woman sat at the window, looked at me, and started crying. When I asked who she was, she said, "I came from Brazil, and I'm a white witch." At breakfast, I told my partner that something would happen today. And when we entered here, I told him it would happen here. And now we're sitting here with you. I told him about Don Carlos and that he might be able to help the young man. The man was interested, and I asked him to write down his name, age, and place of residence on a piece of paper. As soon as he started, I said to him, "I think there's no need to write down your details for me. I think they've already reached the healer." But the man finished his paper, and I took his data home. The next day I asked Rosanna, an Italian woman who had joined our group, to call Don Carlos and give him the young man's details. The healer didn't let her finish, but told her that he had already received the man's name, age, and place of residence, and was already treating him. The son of one of my followers, Julia, was in the hospital where his father worked as a physical therapist. According to
So that is a sign that it's always a chain of people where it is going through. And like in that case, it can happen without anything, not consciously sending a message or saying, Don Carlos, now listen, I have here this man. Or, no, it reached him already. But so, behind me there was Don Carlos, and behind Don Carlos there's someone else, and then there's someone else, and then the last one is carrying the message up there. Maybe it's not you. It's not going directly. It's going through a chain of people where you put your trust in that person. And once that trust is established, then that can happen. So and maybe it was fucking Manolo who made it rain so much.
Yes.
Because Manolo is a Wolkenschieber, the one who's managing the clouds.
For us, anyway.
For us. And he said, no, this couple will not escape. We want to do something. I will not escape. To learn that, look, it's going simply from you to the other person. You don't have to do anything.
It doesn't matter how many times you tell your story. Again and again and again. The son of one of my followers, Julia, was in the hospital where his father worked as a physical therapist. According to doctors, the boy had a strange virus in his hand that began to consume it. The doctors had decided to amputate a finger in case the virus spread further, and later the hand or even the arm. I decided to go to Istanbul and pray for the child in front of the grave of our order's founder. When I returned home after a few days, I was told that the virus had suddenly disappeared. The doctors couldn't find any explanation for this. The son is now married and has several children. His illness never returned.
And his father said it disappeared because I cooked a chicken for him.
Oh, well, everyone has their explanation.
Everyone has their own explanation.
No? It's like we were talking earlier today with our volunteer about homeopathy. And I said, yeah, I've experienced it and it's worked for me. And it doesn't matter to me if it's a placebo effect or if it's the little pills or drops or whatever. It helped me and it didn't harm me. I suppose. Maybe that's why I'm a little crazy, but...
Okay.
Since we had discovered the burial sites of several healers in Andalusia, one day I planned a short trip with my follower Nicholas to visit some of these places. Nicholas picked me up in his car early in the morning. Baba, so many stories you tell. I would like to experience something like that myself one day, he remarked.
You know him now. No, you know him. He cannot remember what happened yesterday, so...
Well, Nicholas had lived by my side for many years and had, of course, experienced some of these incidents. However, our mind tries very hard to drive these inexplicable events from our memory, or to classify them as coincidences. I told him that I wasn't the kind of person who could willingly cause such things to happen. They often simply happened in my presence without me having to do anything. As we left the village, I asked Nicholas how much petrol he had in the tank. He pointed to the needle. The tank was half full, the needle exactly in the middle. So we could stop and refuel later. We drove to a small town in the mountains of Jaén. We then continued the journey and reached a farm where the healer Don Ernesto had lived 100 years ago. A friendly woman showed us the house, which is filled with flowers to this day. Natural and artificial flowers. Many small pictures and notes of people who were grateful to the healer for his help hung there. Even today, people still come here to sleep in the house for a night, and afterwards they are often healed. We thanked the woman and got back into our vehicle. Nicholas looked at me in surprise and remarked, "Baba, the tank is still exactly half full." We hadn't stopped anywhere for gas. I looked at Nicholas and replied, "You wanted to experience something inexplicable. Don't look at the needle, and when we get home it will still be in the middle." We had driven about 200 kilometers, and when we reached our village, the fuel gauge was still exactly in the middle. We hadn't used a drop of gasoline on this trip.
Of course, the needle was broken. I mean,
the explanation of
but
my...
you know, in the house of that healer, there was a photo from the healer, and dressed all in black, and on his trouser, the hand here, and then the knee here was the dress completely black, but the knee was white, like whitish grey. And we asked the woman, maybe take a photo of the photo to have it. And she said, yes, of course, because anyway, if he does not want you to have the photo, it will not work. We will not have the photo, so you can. And we have the photo. And she said, you realize that the trouser here is like grey or white? And we said, oh yeah, wow, yeah, so why? And she said, because one day his hand is here and the next day it's here, and that's now over 100 years.
In the photo.
On the photo.
This is, we've been there, Don, something with C.
Yeah, it's Santo Aceituno. El Santo...
This is the gypsy one.
That is up in the mountain where the old woman is not any longer there. The house, I think we couldn't get in because the woman was not there. I don't remember the name right now. They call him Santo Aceituno, the aceituna, the olive.
Olives. Nicholas had been interested in making perfumes for years. On my advice, he gave up his tea house, which was giving him a lot of headache, and started making perfumes. Nowadays, he owns a shop in Granada, where his products are very popular. We ourselves sell his products online. Letters of thanks from all over the world are a testimony to Nicholas's blessed hands. He still has the shop. We all still enjoy his perfume.
Alchimia Peruana. Available
no
online.
Advertisement.
No.
But the shampoo is wonderful. Another visit to a cemetery was planned. Don Manuel was buried here, a healer who had died in 1960. We arrived late in the afternoon and were told that we only had half an hour as the cemetery would be closed soon. As we entered the front gate, a couple came towards us to leave the cemetery. A strong smell of perfume surrounded the couple. I looked at the woman and was amazed at how much perfume she had put on herself.
So why did not I didn't think that the men had the perfume?
Maybe it smelled Sweet, like a woman's perfume?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just the nature, no?
Yeah.
I look at the woman and I suppose the woman
that's
is
the
the
one with the
perfume.
perfume, yeah. We soon found the grave, a small metal mausoleum painted in white. We sat down on a low wall opposite the tomb. Suddenly Nicholas uttered, "What a wonderful smell! I have never smelled such an essence before." The scent faded only to fill the air again 5 minutes later. Nicholas noticed that the scent came directly from the mausoleum towards us and then dissolved into the surrounding air. This continued for the half hour we spent there.
You see how funny God can be? Because that guy is interested in perfumes.
Mm-hmm.
He needs more to believe,
Mm-hmm.
and he sends in the scent of a perfume. For me, maybe he would have sent
When we
a
went
beautiful
there,
woman.
for the beautiful woman.
What he did. No.
When we went there, I did not smell any perfume. In an old part of Granada, where there are many caves that have been converted into houses and where most of the flamenco shows take place, Sacromonte.
Sí.
We went to a terrace to drink coffee on a Sunday autumn afternoon. This is Los Faroles?
Sí, claro.
Kiki? As we sat there...
No advertisement here, eh?
No.
No.
No recommendations.
No.
It's a wonderful... As we sat there, I said to Dolores that I would like to have a big black dog. There was an animal shelter on the way to where her parents lived, so I asked her to stop there on her next visit and ask if we could adopt a suitable dog there. After a few minutes, a teenager showed up with a young puppy. The animal was completely black. The boy told us about the puppy's mother, who was a Great Dane and had given birth to 10 puppies. The Great Dane's owner wanted to leave her with only 6 puppies and kill the rest. So the young man was trying to find someone to give the little animals to. We took the dog home, a male, and he was our loyal companion for many years. We gave the stately animal the name Dogo, and today he's buried here on our property. Oh, Nicholas, perfumes.
For me, the dog.
The dog.
You want the dog? Take dog.
Beautiful woman, dog. So sometimes we have to say out loud what we wish for.
You just
Or
talk.
Would it have happened even if you had only felt it, thought it inside of yourself?
Maybe.
Or we don't know.
You don't know.
A couple who were friends here in the village invited us to a concert given by a well-known Spanish singer named Isabel.
Mentira, no advertisement. Her name is Fatima Miranda.
This woman has the greatest vocal range of all singers in Spain. She can even imitate the sounds of whales and sing several notes at the same time. In the concert hall directly... How? In the concert... Don't ask how,
Don't
say
ask
wow.
how, say wow.
I'm trying to imagine what that sounds like and I cannot... Like it doesn't...
I don't know. But very high, very strange.
In the concert hall, directly in front of us, sat a 10-year-old boy. Isabel began her performance, and a short time later the boy began to cry. His whole body shook. I put my hand on his shoulder to calm him down. During a break, Dolores went into the hallway with the boy. The child had calmed down and chatted with her for a while. When Isabel began to sing again, the boy began to cry again. At the end of the performance, we approached the stage to wait for Isabel. Our friends had invited her to dinner at a restaurant. The little boy was standing next to us and a man appeared. "How lucky I found you," he said to the boy. It turned out that he was the child's father. Both were French, and the father was worried about his son because he didn't speak a word of Spanish. And yet, during the break, he had spoken to Dolores in perfect Spanish. Ya está.
Ya está, we don't know.
Isabel talked to a lot of people, and so we went ahead to the restaurant. We ordered and ate, but Isabel hadn't come. Finally, we left the restaurant, and just then the singer appeared. We were introduced, and the first words I said to her were, "Isabel, I hope that God will never be missing from your concerts." She started laughing and replied, "And who do you think was singing?" We liked each other at first sight. We went to one of the tea houses and talked there until 4 a.m. I told her about the crying French boy and wanted to know where she had learned this way of singing. For sure she had received a gift there, a gift that she knew nothing about. The gift of putting other people into a trance state. Isabel talked about her time in Pakistan, where she had lived and studied singing with a Sufi master and his students. For weeks she was only allowed to sing a single note. Everyone else was allowed to improvise from time to time, not her. Finally, she came to the conclusion that being the only woman there, she didn't have the same rights as men. She was about to give up when her master suddenly said to her out of the blue, "Now, improvise." Isabel didn't know what to do and described to us how at that moment her hands suddenly rose and without her mind involved, led the sounds as we know from Indian singers.
Not going like that. What have you experienced some days ago with that crazy instrument?
The otamatone.
Otamatone? What have you experienced?
Otamatone, see?
Otamatone.
Otamatone, yeah. So
no advertisement here.
No advertisement. You can find it on thoman.de. No. It's a funny, strange little instrument, which I don't really know how to describe it. Maybe that's not important.
No, but you can imitate like a very distorted rock and roll guitar.
Yes.
This
yeah, so and I don't play any of that stuff, and I have never even tried to imitate like a guitar player, like maybe like this, but not like the rock and roll, like going crazy type. And I have this instrument in my hand, and I'm playing around with it.
And you were always laughing about these guitar players, like saying, why they make like that?
And their faces contorted.
It's a show, it's part of the show, no?
It's part of, is it part of the show? You have to do that being on stage. And then I have this instrument in my hand, and I'm playing it, and I'm starting to do it out of nowhere, and I'm like, what the heck is happening to me? And it's like, it simply happened. Yeah, it was a bit strange. Now you know where your gift comes from, I said. Isabel mentioned never wanting to come to our village, here. When I asked her why, she replied, I would stay there forever, but I have a job to do, and that's what I'm going to do. A year later, we saw her again in concert, and then went to a bar to have a drink. Isabel began, you can't imagine how lonely I feel. Do you see the black sedan out there with the dark windows? In this vehicle, I will be driven to the next performance by my 2 bodyguards. But that is my destiny, the task that I have to fulfill in this world. I looked at her and said, Isabel, when you give a concert and you look into the audience and see an empty seat, that's where I'm sitting. She hugged me and left in her limousine.
We finished? Want
not to lose the
more
recording?
Time and it's all gone? Next
okay,
week,
bye-bye.
maybe more. Goodbye.